Do you know that you can change your anxiety with just two words? And those words are, I'm excited. Why? Because actually, anxiety feels a lot like excitement. So if we tell our brain that actually we're not anxious, but we are excited, then the brain will start shifting. This is very important. So every time, for example, if you're afraid of public speaking and you're getting anxious, you might say, I'm excited because I want to do a great job and I want people to get my message. So that way, your brain will start seeing that it's not actually danger, but it is a situation that is exciting. So it is very important for you to understand that you need to follow some steps to transform anxiety into excitement. So the first thing is that you need to understand and be very specific of what is exactly that you are afraid of. What is exactly the source of your anxiety? So for example, with public speaking, I'm afraid I will say something stupid, or I'm afraid everyone will think that I am a loser. So that way, you can actually help your brain understand what is the actual cause. And most likely, it will be an irrational thought. So it's not something that it's actually going to happen, and or that it has a lower percentage of possibility of that happening. So the other important part is that you need to reframe that thought. So for example, you can say, I'm excited to share these thoughts with my audience, or I'm excited to do a great job on this presentation. So instead of focusing on the negative, on the anxiety, we focus on the excitement. What is exciting about? Well, that it is very important for me. This speech is very important for me, and I want to do a great job. So it is not a magical thing. Obviously, you have to retrain your brain because you have been knowing what anxiety is like for all of your life, probably. So you have to retrain your brain to stay calm under stressful situations. So you first start practicing. When you ever feel stressed in a situation that is not that stressful, you can actually set your mind and say, okay, it's a stressful situation. What about if I use some techniques to relax? Another important thing that you can do is that you can set up an alarm. So, for example, every hour, you actually set up an alarm that reminds you that you need to relax. That way, we don't get caught up in the stressful situations. Like we have a lot of things to do, a lot of things at school, teachers, classmates. So our body is constantly stressed. If we change that every hour, for example, for just 30 seconds at least, or 1 minute, and we actually ground ourselves and understand that we actually can control our stress, we can control our anxiety, and we can ground ourselves, then our brain will start getting used to this new emotion. Another thing that you can do is use positive affirmations like, I'm safe here, I am capable. Just something short and sweet that you can use regularly. So if you get anxious, for example, socializing, you say, I'm enough, I can make friends. Something like that that will help your brain understand that actually positive things can happen. Positive things are happening right now. Another thing is that you need to use your anxiety. Like, use it. It is energy, and energy creates momentum. And if we do that and we use that to do the presentation, to feel excited, like this anxiety is actually excitement. I will start doing what I'm afraid to do because actually I'm excited about it, because actually it's important for me. So that way we can use that anxiety, that energy, and transform it in something better. And if we actually confront it and use it and do whatever is that we're anxious about, eventually you will understand, and your brain will understand that actually it worked, actually never happened, nothing ever happened, you weren't in danger. Okay, so that way your brain will get that and will eventually start thinking differently. Remember that your brain is like a muscle. Like if your brain has been feeling anxious for the past 12 years, and that's the only thing that your brain knows, your brain has been trained to be anxious. So what you now need to do is apply a lot of techniques, be consistent, and try to train your brain to become more relaxed. So whenever you are feeling these emotions, these physical symptoms that are very triggering, that you start saying like, I shouldn't be feeling this way. I have to breathe. I have to, like, this is not normal. If you do that, if you don't simply go with the flow, go with your emotions, understand why they are happening, you will tell your brain that you are in danger. So that those symptoms and that anxiety will increase, and that's the worst part. So if you don't force it, if you don't if you just understand and go with your emotions and with your symptoms, that way you would not put so much stress, additional stress to your stress. So that way we can actually prevent a panic attack from happening, and that way we can train our brain to cope and to live with those symptoms without feeling that our life is in danger. So practice those tips, understand better your brain, as well. Be more compassionate to yourself, understand your feelings, your symptoms, why you get triggered, and as well, that we are not what happens outside of us. Those are situations that surround us, but what we think of those situations, it's what actually can make us feel triggered, super emotional, a panic attack, or coping with it, relaxed, or I don't like it, but I can hold on and I can actually try to pass the situation. Okay, so remember, the brain is like a muscle. You need to train it. It's not in one day. If you want a six pack, you have to go to the gym and eat right, like for I don't know how many months or years. In this case, it's basically the same. So every day, a little bit every day goes a long way. See you next time.